Yeah. So, hello. Motherboard with the ice. We almost thought about getting the right. So,
Nobody wants to go first, huh? Go for it. Yes. Go for it. Bust it open. Bust the pizza open. Do it all. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Like I said, I'm not much into the whole pricing deal. I don't know what's going on with their deal. You know that Samsung and all of them are getting super over the rent prices. So, yeah, rent has no. That's high.
I just do that extra step. Oh.
Hello.
I was in a rush and I forgot my phone.
Oh, yeah. That's fine.
So, okay. All right, cool.
You're good.
That's good.
Yeah, I got your video. Did you have a video on one of them?
Yeah, but we don't have to.
Okay.
We don't have. I don't.
Well, I'm trying to get to see if I can play it. Okay, go. It was an embedded video. Is that what it is?
I don't know. I had a problem doing it for mine, but all you have to do is go to. Oh, why is it doing that? Are you in only? See, are you in a different mode?
No. Oh, go for it.
You have to go back.
Huh?
Yours looks different than mine. I ended up going under video. Insert. Oh, go to insert. Right
Well,
there. Insert.
Yep. But I don't have that video yet on my computer.
Click on you. I don't really care about it.
Okay.
Really. It's not really that
All
big
right,
of a
we'll
deal.
just leave it like it is. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate presenting, but I'm really bad at it.
No, that's fine. It's fine. Do you want me to just get rid of it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use it.
Well,
Okay.
okay.
All right,
Is
cool.
there any other way to add it on there?
No, I don't. Unless I have the normal, unless I have the original video, I would. Don't worry about it. You got enough. You got enough data. Like, what is it? 13 slides. Oh yeah, you only got 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, it's
You're good. Yep. Go ahead and help yourself to the snacks here, guys. If you haven't already, that's great. We'll start here in a couple minutes.
So you're not rocking it. Yeah.
You have that thing, right? You have the picture.
Do what?
You have the picture, right?
Yeah, I sent it to you yesterday or last week.
Oh, because it
Hello.
gets 1,000 texts. I'll find it.
Yeah, you save it to your pictures. Told you to save it to
No,
your
I have a
pictures.
lot in here. Oh, there it is. Can I go last so I can work?
Do one other person.
Oh, that.
Yeah, you're second. Come up and get some snacks. Some snacks. There's healthy stuff up here too, it looks like. Already said it, huh? Yeah, you got it all.
Yeah,
Same subject.
where I lost
Oh, I have the same.
So I put that in.
Well, I don't know about that.
I really
It also requires.
I think people I think the two that's our
All right, let's go and get started. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody get some stuff to get started with. We've only got 2 presenters actually, so it's going to be pretty quick. So you're going to be taking eats a lot of food really quick here, taking some home. Well, last 2 presenters. Next week is finals week. You don't technically have to come, but I will be here replaying your videos for anybody who wants to show up. I'll also have some games here to play and some snacks. I'm going to bring some robotic games, some Google AI. I've got a new Google Vision kit that I put together where it basically reads any object that comes in the room or in front of it and can determine what object that is. So that'll be set up. You can play with that. About 4 or 5 robots I'll bring in, a couple RC type robots and a couple programming type robots. And Raspberry Pi I'll bring in. Also, I'll bring in a Raspberry Pi computer kit that we built. So a whole bunch of fun stuff we'll bring in just to, you guys can hang out for however many time, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Grab a water and a snack and head to do your finals. How many has finals next Thursday? Finals next Thursday, anybody? So I won't get anybody in here. Okay, I'll be by myself. That's okay. That's all right. I got to be here anyway. So anyway, last session, make sure if you've got anything to turn in as far as your presentation go, your research papers due the night of. I think I've got everybody's up to this point. You guys have been a great class. Hope you learned some things in networking. Over the summer, anybody taking classes over the summer? What are you guys taking?
Multimedia.
Wolf, gotcha. What are you taking?
Intro to C, C++.
Okay. Okay, cool. Well, let's go ahead and go over. We do have, I want to go over quickly the fall 2008 courses. If you've not yet subscribed or for those courses, we do have for the second semester, it's fresh, the Apple and iOS Android development certificate. In the fall, we'll be teaching the iOS version, which is CIS 280. We also have in the fall PHP programming. Those of you into web development, if you've not taken that, I suggest doing that. It's online. You'll learn PHP and MySQL database. You need little or no programming experience for all these courses, actually. 180, it's online as well. Intro to Visual Basic. It's Windows programming and learn how to create Windows apps. And 110, you've already taken. 130, Intro to Network Security. Each week on that one, we do cybersecurity labs. We do ethical hacking is what I call it. Basically, we learn how hackers think and how to thwart against your network from being attacked. Everything from networking to social media attacks, which is popular today, to cell phone attacks, which is also popular today. And so we do weekly labs. We'll do labs like it says on the screen there. Man, the middle attack. Those are popular, like when you walk into a hot spot with your phone and you can connect to hackers are prone to set up these rogue SSID devices to where basically you can connect to those devices. Let's say the SSID in that area is usually something like, AT&T. The hacker will set up a rogue SSID called AT&T that folks unwillingly connect to. And then once they connect to that SSID, the hacker then has access to all of their data, all their traffic, and can even do screen scrapes of their screens if they want to. And so we do that actually in week 3 or 4 of the class. But each week we'll be doing a hands-on lab on Thursday and then a discussion on Tuesday and learn how hackers think so you can combat them. Also, going on with the other list, go down to this part here. Where's it at? There it is. Here's all the rest of the CIS courses, PCT and web. So a complete list is on there. It's easier to review it from this view than to go to online services because these are all just CIS courses that you can view. And from this, you can actually click and register online if you've not already registered. For some of you may not have registered yet for fall. When you click on this register online, it takes you right to that area. One last thing I'll mention on the mobile app. We've got about 7 students graduating in May with this certificate. And again, it just started in November. And it's CIS 170 that Wolf teaches. I teach 280, which is iOS, 245, which is Android. And with those 3 classes, you get a mobile app certificate. Pretty cool. And so it's a total of, I think, 11 hours in total. And so be thinking about that. Article today I'll show you. I just found we were doing a job market research here recently I had to do for the certificate. And you probably won't be surprised in this data I show you, but let me pull it up here. So, here it is. Top 10 jobs in 2008. This was posted January of this year by CNBC. The source of it was from the U.S. Bureau on Job Statistics. By number 1 job posting is software developer. Median salary is 100 grand. That's nationwide. And 10-year growth, about 250,000 jobs. 10-year growth, a little bit more actually than that. And then dentist, high stress, but number 2. Physician assistant, that's actually a real popular one as well. I know some people that do that. Basically, you know anybody who's a physician's assistant? It's basically a step below a physician. You do everything a doctor does, basically. And you can travel all over, and they make good money. And the contract folks make much more money than the physician assistants that stay local. Like the contract people can go East Coast, West Coast on a monthly basis and just, do fill-ins for hospitals and things of that nature. Nurse practitioner, good. Orthodontist, statistician, pediatrician, gynecologist, surgeon, physician. So that is the That's only 8. And we're the other 2. And anyway, top 10. All I care about is number 1 software developer. That's pretty cool. And Mark Cuban, I don't know if anybody listens or follows Mark Cuban. You know, one of the big things with software developer also is a big one is being able to be creative. If you're a creative person, you'll notice on the list is a statistician. Statisticians not only have to be good with numbers, they have to also be good at forecasting. So forecasting job growth, forecasting market, forecasting ideas that'll work in the future. So a combination of creative, programmer, IT person is a good combination to have in the next. That's what he in the last article I read of his. So kind of a combination of not just, he said basically not to put all your eggs just in technology, but also go outside the box a little bit and maybe more in, you know, being a leader in your area in vision. So having a vision for whatever area you're interested in and being a forward thinker outside the box and do things that nobody's doing, those are the people that are going to succeed in 10, 15, 20 years from now. And so, because everything's being automated, even as a programmer, you know, there's always going to be needed a programmer to do something, right? But more and more things are being automated with artificial intelligence, machine learning, which I've been getting involved in the last couple of years. And programmers are programming these technologies, but in the same time, it's made it more available to those that are non-programmers or non-techies to be able to take these tools and to create things they've never been able to create before, if that makes sense. And so you don't know, no longer do you have to be like an engineer to be able to put together a robotic actuator arm. There's kits you can buy to show you how to do it with videos and tutorials from not just home users, but even business users. And from a programming standpoint, there's tons of tools out there now to help people program what's called big data, to where you get data from all these different entities like social media, Amazon, Google, and be able to aggregate where people are buying things, where job growth is coming, things of that nature. So that's my little spiel. So while you're at campus, I would suggest taking as many programming courses as possible. Even though you think you maybe not become a programmer, it'll be a good foundation for you in whatever career you go into. Because it's been proven that programming will help you with critical thinking and figuring out any problem, regardless what the problem might be. And so, yeah. So have fun while you're here. Keep learning. I'm always learning. I take at least 2 or 3 courses a year myself. That's just to keep me updated. And new programming languages I'm trying to learn all the time. Right now I'm refreshing on Python, relearning Python again. And I'd like to offer Python actually here on campus. That's one of my goals in the next year, because Python is a very popular language that's come back. And they've come back because of machine learning, artificial intelligence, and gaming is using Python a lot now. So anyway, that's my little spiel. So make sure to register for fall 2018. Have a great summer. I will have everything graded by next Wednesday. And we've got a lot of pizza left. We've got a lot of stuff left. We've got 2 presenters. Presenter 1, you'll be presenter 1, and Jackie will be presenter 2. So presenter 1, go and come on up. There should be a link in the medium or the modules, I believe. Let me know if there's not, for survey. I think I left it in there. Maybe not. Let's see here. So we got a week 16 task. Let's see. Yeah, survey link. Everybody click on the survey link. We got 2 presenters. Once the 2 presenters are done, we are finished. All right? All right, here we go. Switch you over. You got your little flipper there if you want it. All right, and
Which way's forward, which way's back?
yep, back and forth. Yep, you're good to go. All right, so all yours, sir.
All right. Entanglement networking. Imagine a network connection that's impossible to spy on. With recent headlines in the news, it's easy to see that's value. Quantum entanglement networking is a technology that's in its infancy, but it promises some huge benefits that are not very far off in the future. To understand the cutting edge research into the possibilities of its uses, I researched 5 key questions about quantum entanglement networking, like QEN for short, QEN. So what is quantum entanglement? How can quantum entanglement be used in networking? What capabilities could QEN have? What stage is its research in? And lastly, how far off in the future will we really be using QEN? So to answer the first of those questions, all right. So to understand quantum entanglement, you need to understand the behavior of subatomic particles known as spin. Spin is kind of an analog for the different states that particles can be in at any given time. It's not exactly like a spinning ball, but that mental image can kind of help you picture how this works. In QEN research, those spin states are usually called either up or down, which is correlated to the direction of the spin. These spin states also change when the perspective from which they observe is changed as well. There can be vertical observations, horizontal observations, and 60-degree observations. There are different properties of spin from all of those positions, but for quantum networking, we would only observe from one single position at a time. So we're going to go with vertical for the rest of this paper or presentation. When only observed from one position, we get the up or down state. It's a 50-50 chance. So this either or possibility is known as a Boolean, or could also be expressed as true or false, or 0 or 1. So with that either or state in mind, here's where, like all things quantum physics, things get a bit weird. Particles that are unobserved take up all possible states at once, just like the unobserved cat in a box from the famous thought experiment Schrodinger's cat, which probably you guys have heard of. In the experiment, the cat exists as both dead and alive until somebody opens the box. And because somebody looks, the state of the cat is then known, and it stays in that state, either alive or dead, true or false, 0 or 1. So quantum entanglement is the relationship of that spin state between 2 paired particles. In quantum physics, entangled particles remain connected so that actions performed on one affect the other, even when they're separated by great distances. If one of the entangled particles is observed in an up state, then its partner is always observed in the down state, no matter what. Because this change in state appears to be instantaneous or nearly so, no matter how far apart those entangled particles are, Albert Einstein famously called it spooky action at a distance. He did not like this. But he's now been proven wrong many, many times over in labs all over the world. So how do we make entanglement happen? While entanglement occurs in nature when photons or particles alike are pulled apart by the event horizon of a black hole, they can also be created in a lab fairly simply. By firing a laser through a specialized crystal, the beam can split a single photon into entangled pairs. This has been done and verified in labs all over the world, so this piece of the technology is not just theoretical, it's actually in use today. So the next question, obviously, is how does this apply to networking? Because the state of both the entangled particles can be obtained by one single observation, a transfer of information is achieved. If the transmitting device observes its particles having a spin of up, then the receiving device will always have a observation of the particle spin being down. So that 0 or 1 binary system, as you know, is the same way that we express transfer of information in networks today, just as voltage being on or off. There's a quote from a phys.org news article. Professor Robert Hansen, he's one of the lead researchers in this development at Delft in Norway. He says the information exists at both places and there's no need for sensitive information to travel in between. We expect fundamentally safe future networks based on entanglement between quantum nodes, a quantum internet. So what are its current and future capabilities? The connection in entanglement occurs outside of 3-dimensional time and space, and therefore the connection itself is 100% secure. it is completely unhackable. Its speed is instantaneous and is really only limited to how we are able to synchronize the observations. The synchronization of our observation is the sticking point to a completely untethered network that could span light years. We have not currently found our way around that, but if we can somehow use that same spin property to relay the timestamp, essentially, that one observation has happened, then we would have instantaneous communication over any distance. The security part of CAN is already in play, however, because with a tethered network, and that's where we find the state of entanglement networking today, which is our next question topic. Scientists are currently using fiber optic cabling to connect the systems and synchronize the observations via timestamping. The information is relayed by the spin states of the photons, so that information is still secure, because all we're firing down the fiber optic cable is the timestamp that says, hey, you can look at your particle now. It's not the actual 0 or the 1. Chinese scientists have reportedly already done this in a real-world tethered quantum network. They explain their security as quantum key distribution. The nature of it is described as being because the entangled particles that make up the transmission interact with each other at all times, no matter where they are, and any disruption or tampering with any of the bits instantly causes error. So it cannot be eavesdropped on, stolen, or erased. From a article on Network World, this is a quote from one of the Chinese scientists. One cannot hack the system. Particles cannot be destroyed or duplicated. Any eavesdropper will disrupt the entanglement and alert the authorities. So until recently, the maximum length of the connection was limited by the fiber optic cable to 97 kilometers, at which the signal degrades to a point where the observation point can change before the next observation point was made. This was set by a team in China, and then they broke their own record by using satellite connections, still using photons. The new record is now sites on Earth separated by up to 1,203 kilometers. The reason that it travels so much farther is that interference that occurs with that light beam really only occurs in the lower atmosphere of the planet. So once they're in space, they really encounter no interference. And instead of bouncing a photon down the proverbial pipe of a fiber optic cable, we're just having a single bounce off a satellite in that system. Scientists at Delft and Oxford are also gaining ground on upscaling the networks. They're combining multiple quantum links into single quantum links. And this is vital to networks that are going to contain lots of different particles and nodes. Their work was published in Science magazine, and they have demonstrated their method. It's considered a very big step. In that same Phys.org article, Norbert Kalb, one of the lead authors from the paper, said that to realize such a network, we need all the ingredients of the current internet, a memory, a processor, and networking links. We have now demonstrated that nuclear spins can be employed as memories and are not disturbed by regenerating entanglement between electron spins. So what they're saying is they're using the rest of the particle in the atom, the rest of the particles, to do different things at the same time. So the electron spin is relaying information. The spin of like the protons and neutrons is creating memories and nodes, essentially. Professor Hansen, again, he says that we can now entangle electrons in additional quantum nodes such that we can extend the number for a first real quantum network. Scientifically, a whole new world opens up, and in 5 years, we'll be able to connect 4 Dutch cities in a rudimentary quantum network. So that article was from 2017, but are from the actual research paper from 2015. So this is not very far away. So that brings us to the last question. How far away in the future is this really? A tech blogger named Dom Gallion predicts that CAN will be available in just a decade, with a caveat that it's going to be a niche market. The early devices are going to be extremely expensive. So it would be likely that government agencies would be able and have the actual need to afford all this stuff. So we're talking CIA, military, that kind of thing. For the populace at large, I'm going to say about 25 years, because if there's anything that our private tech industry is good at, it's shrinking stuff and making it cheaper. I can remember in my lifetime when the personal computer did not exist, and I'm really not that old, I swear. So I really see it rapidly developing, just like everything else has in the last 30 years. That's it. Does anybody have any questions?
Good presentation.
Great.
I didn't want to pros. I didn't.
Me and Patron got a lovely relationship.
Oh, it's just a slide before the end.
Yeah, I know, but it's gonna mess up all the numbers. I mean, I'm already unorganized, you know?
No, it's a slide before the end, right?
No, it was on, yeah. And it
Yeah.
messed up all the numbers, if you know what I mean. So I know what to go to. It was on number 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Wait, so can
I
we
just
play,
did it.
can we get it to play possibly?
Do what?
Can we get it to play possibly?
No, I tried it. It didn't work, remember? Yeah, it didn't
I
work.
wonder why it's not doing it.
Don't know.
What if you just click on it? Because I did it where you have to click double click on it. No, double.
Yeah.
I
There's not
wonder
no-
why it's doing that.
no, so anyway,
Because I really hate doing this. I get nervous.
do what?
I get nervous. So I,
Yep. Yeah, you got the right and left.
So,
No, you're fine. Yep. Your guys get something to eat, have a sit down, relax a little bit. We'll get started in just a moment, okay? Yeah. Got it? You got it. You'll do fine.
I'll at least get it working. Okay.
Oh yeah, well you guys are. You guys are done with yours. You just put them back in the box. I'll recycle them.
All right, Jack, it's all yours.
Okay. Sorry, I'm horribly nervous. I hate doing this. Okay, how do I get the thing on?
I'll get that behind again.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you want to pause and grab your-
And then you just click the left, the right goes right, left goes left.
Okay.
Good.
So my name's Jacqueline. I did a research paper about underwater acoustic communications. Why isn't it working? Okay. So DART stands for Deep Ocean Assessment and Reporting of Tsunamis. And it's used for detecting earthquakes by examining underwater acoustic sound waves that potentially lead to tsunamis. Let's see. It uses a complicated engineering system called the DART-2 system, which requires many different resources, engineering equipment, and network protocols to operate efficiently. In the next 3 years, President Trump is contemplating making significant budget cuts to scientific and climate research. Sorry, I'm just going off of this to make it easier. Okay, so in 1986, in Waikiki, Honolulu, there was a warning for a horrific tsunami that never made landfall, and it resulted in trapping tourists in their vehicles and cost the state tens of millions of dollars. So it resulted in them preventing like tsunamis and starting like the DART-2 system. So by the year 2023, it's estimated that the environmental projects would cost the U.S. about $2.86 billion. Trump wants to decrease the number of 40 full-time employees down to 15, which would save 11 million. And there's also $6 million in grants that furbish the reduction of tsunami hazards that supply emergency drills and drawings of flood maps that support people with evacuation plans. And Trump believes that the other nations should take care of their own needs, and that the U.S. can still be efficient with the research and warning systems with the budget cuts. So there are 21 other sensors that are operated by 8 other nations, and this would mean a reduction in the number of tsunami alert sensors anchored to the bottom of the ocean. Sorry, I don't even know what slide this is. So this is the Pacific Ring of Fire. And there's Japan has about 21 sensors placed near the Ring of Fire, and they'll be spending another $500 million for warning systems, research, and maintenance. There's also 7 other nations highly involved in the participation of alert technology and natural. Oh, sorry. And so basically, these are where all the sensors are placed on the bottom of the ocean that detect the tsunamis. And I don't really have much to say about this, but this is everything that has to do with the DART-2 system and all the equipment that they use and technology, which we'll get into. Okay, so this is the robotic crawler. They don't really use this to detect tsunamis, but they do. It does use the same technology as the other equipment that they use, which is kind of cool. So it's used to find objects under very shallow waters and surf zones while carrying a modem, camera, and a digital signal processing component. The crawler can be monitored and maneuvered from far distances by acoustic communications. Associates at the base station can send a command for the robotic crawler to take a still frame photo, which it compresses to an acoustic signal before sending it back to the examiner. Okay, and sorry, there's a lot of information about this one. Let's call it the surface buoy, and sorry, I have to find it. Okay, I'll just skip it, sorry. Okay, so the applications used for the system consist of data links in combination with satellite data links that capture data in real time from equipment underwater, and it sends it to a scientist on land. There are pressure sensors anchored to the ocean floor known as bottom pressure recorders that detect undersea earthquakes, measuring high waves, which in turn can detect tsunamis. The pressure sensors are located near the regions where tsunamis are common, and the BPR collects temperature and pressure values every 15 seconds by using okay, the structure consists of 2 data reporting types, standard and event. It regularly conducts a standard mode. After the internal recognition software discovers an event, the system begins event mode transmission. After 4 hours of no new discoveries, it returns operation mode of 1 minute real-time transmission, which should have been on that slide. Okay, but one cool thing I did find on the website was that you could you can go on there and check it right now if you want to, and it gives you all the information of the sensors, you know, that's from the buoys, you know, so you can go on there and see like the temperature, the marsh current, so like the flow of the water. And although it says that it reports every 5 days, 24 hours, there's a lot more information on there. It does record it about every 5 to 6. And then it's kind of weird that you can actually call one of the buoys and you can find out information about the wind and wave measurements. So if there is a tsunami or, you know, there is a warning out, you can call it and find out. It's like an automated system. Or you can go online and check it, which is pretty neat. And let me see. And the video is not working, sorry. So Trump, by 2019, Trump wants to make a final decision about either cutting the whole program, maybe for a couple of years, because they can still work on their own for a couple of years, but somebody has to maintain it, and at least the batteries would last. But he thinks that the other countries are going to be spending a lot of money, and he can just, you know, that we can get the information from them, which I kind of agree on that. I mean, I feel like we do need it, but not as, you know, they spend a lot of money on it, and it's really cool to keep researching it and discovering things. But if other, like Japan is spending 500 million, I don't see a reason for them to put in a lot of money. Do I have anything else? Nope. And those are the sources that I use. Okay. Any questions?
I want one of those underwater robots. All right. Well, guys, there's plenty of good stuff left, man. Wow. Lot. It's pretty good. The Dorito. What's the brand name? Dorito? Is that what it is? Doritos. Yeah, I knew I pronounced it wrong. I'm a Southern Missouri boy, so I knew I'd pronounce it wrong. All right. Well, great class. This is it. Summer off for most of you, I hope, right? Have some fun. Go do some fun stuff. You know, fly a drone, take a hike, go to the beach, play some ball or something like that. You know, play with your kids, grandkids, nieces, nephews. There's no grandparents in here, right? No, I'm the only grandparent, right? Okay, wow, I'm old. All right, anyway, great class. Please do me a favor, though, before you leave, take this stuff. If you brought stuff, definitely take it with you. But while you're gathering your stuff, if somebody else wants stuff, definitely take some with you before you go. Sound good? And everything will be graded by next Wednesday. And great class. See you next semester. I have some of you in class, and others I'll see you around campus. If you need anything, let me know. Shoot me an email. I'll be more glad to help you. Keep checking the website, by the way. We keep posting jobs over the summer. So keep checking them if you need a job. All right?
Anybody want to take some sandwiches?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I know you brought a whole bunch in. Yeah, definitely. Do it. Yeah, get rid of them. I would do this. I would pick them up and just pass them around. Oh, was that from today's event? Yeah, we got some from our last session. So yeah, it was from Days at RBC that nobody finished.
Yeah.
Take them.
There's a lot of good people. There's more.
Yeah, those beefaroo sandwiches, weren't they? The beefaroo ones, is that right? Oh, were they? Okay. Yeah, take some sandwiches. Definitely take the pizzas. Oh yeah, that's what you like. Yeah, there you go.
This one's really good. No, take as many as you want. Do you guys want any?
There you go. And Jackie, there's a group over here. These guys are wanting them. I can tell. They're wanting some over here too.
This one's good. Chicken Caesar.
I'm taking PHP with you.
All right, cool. Yeah, you'll like it. It's a fun class. PHP. Yeah.
Are you familiar with the CMS called Site?
Yeah, I have used that before. Oh wow. Yeah, I have. Yeah.
I'm working a job with it right now.
Oh yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, it's very clunky.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard that in a long time. Wow.
The person who designed the website
Yeah.
said that, and they did it in like 2010.
Yeah. It was real popular back then.
They left the company and they knew I was going to school for it, so they let me take over as the web administrator.
Yeah.
And like, it's just
Yeah.
a huge
Well, hopefully
thing.
after you take the 290, the web was it 2 brain dead. 234, you'll be able to. You could build a custom if you wanted to, or parts of a custom, or the whole thing custom. Because I think week 10 we go over CMS, a custom CMS you can build on your own. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to mess with them. I tried out WordPress.
WordPress is very popular, really good, solid.
Planning on getting into
And see, with WordPress, what's great about that is it's built on PHP. Anything you want to create, I've created I don't know how many WordPress plugins in PHP. Real easy to do. I mean, real easy to do once you learn PHP. Like one I've been creating a lot is for reporting, right? So say, I don't know, say you've got people submitting forms on your website or whatever, right? You can create a real simple, it's called a JSON plugin in PHP that allows you to parse the data however you want to, right? And so you can parse it in a nice report for people or Excel spreadsheet or however your managers want it or whatever. Real nice. Excuse me. What is this now?
They're rolls. I did not bring you silverware, so yeah.
No. Oh wow, these are like hot still.
Yeah, fresh.
Wow. Hello.
They finished right before I went out the door, so.
Are you serious?
Yep.
Whoa. Those are right out of the oven.
I'll have a good one.
Thanks, guy. Appreciate it.
But the one thing that I ran into trouble with, like, site fitting is like so messed up. It's got like content, like on the side, you can just drag and drop it, but none of it works.
Yeah.
Like I tried to put a Twitter widget in,
Yeah.
I did it, and I just couldn't figure out how to do it, so I just went into the HTML.
Right.
And it worked right away. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might be wrong. I think they stopped updating that for the package.
I believe it. I believe it.
It used to be real popular, but then when they stopped developing it, when the PHP versions changed and the code changed, everything started. Well, really WordPress kind of.
Yeah, like I was trying to look around and see what was popular.
Yeah.
Trying to get in earlier with stuff.
Yeah, WordPress would be a good. Well, since they're already used to using the CMS, I'd probably it's a really one out of the box you can start playing with, even on your desktop.
Yeah,
So if you download, we actually use an online version called C9. It's a C9.io website. It allows you to build an empty WordPress page or site. You can build on there, I think, 50 other languages, different platforms. So I pay $1 a month for students.
It's actually,
And then web interfaces.
oh, that'd be cool.
And we use that in the so you'll be able to play with it. You can make as many WordPress test sites as you want to. That's what
Yeah, that'd be cool.
the nice thing I like about WordPress is once you're done creating the site, you can export the entire site to a zip file and then move it to another domain and import it, change your data points to your database. That's it. Yeah. Keep going.
And my other question, I want to stay brushed up on technology. What do you think about Codec?
I like Codec. I mean, the other ones too we've been using my CS2 says the 7th semester. It's a really good, you'll like it. It's kind of
The way that it's
site. There's an Android app.
situated, like some parts, I know have those little spots that don't. Barbara Olson Center. So I'll show you that stuff. I didn't design it, but I worked on the web administrator. The only left and they didn't want to pay some of the only thing is, every 6 months, water to be tubing. That. Yeah, like I just went to basically the last time I switched up.
Let me pull up on my Mac. I've got it saved here.
Might have been yes. But, like the impeller inside of the phone.
What do you have, an iOS or Android? Do you have iOS or Android phone? Android, because they have an iOS and Android app both. Let's see here. Solo Learn. You're a Solo Learn? SOLO Learn. Solo Learn. And pulling it up here. What I did, I use it in my beginning, well, in my advanced programming class for C++, I used it for students to get a refresher of the 276 class that they took. So let me see the languages on that. You've got pulling it up here. All right, so yeah, 23 million users right now. Just that's very popular. But C++, Python, Java, JavaScript, PHP, C#, Swift. We teach that here. Ruby on Rails, jQuery, basic HTML, CSS, just to name a few. SQL fundamentals. That's in there as well. Totally free, yeah. And what's cool about it is you sign up online, is what I recommend, and then download the app, log in with your credentials. And what it has is like it's got some examples of what code syntax is, and then it has you do like these little mini quizzes, drag and drop quiz type stuff, and fill in the blank type stuff to see if you remember what you just learned. And then you get a mastery of every section. Like I think in the C++ module they had, let's see. Yeah. Every yeah.
And instead of reading that whole thing,
Yep.
you can just go in there and practice that, and you're going to learn way better than reading the
Yeah.
chapter.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah. It had 80 modules to it. 80 little quizzes. There's 8 modules, all of them from beginning to advanced. And it won't let you, you have to take them in sequence. You can't take them out of order. But once you finish a module, you get like little badges and stuff. And it gives you like a leaderboard of who finished them faster, out of the 54 million, right? And so, but anyway, you'll like it. You can do a web, app, either one. I recommend the app. Students like the app much better. It's more interactive, more intuitive than the web. But yeah, Solo Learn's a really good one for new coders or those who just want to refresh a language that they've learned way back. Because again, it will reinforce all the syntax and basic coding of most languages. Yeah, I would take that one. I think I had one student actually take the C++. She finished it over a weekend. I don't know how she got any sleep, but she finished it over the weekend. We wouldn't take it that quick. Mm-hmm. Yeah, basic HTML's on there. Here's all, and I think they aggregated by the top most popular C++. I think the reason that's the most popular probably is because college students take it for help with their C++ class. Because it does, regardless of what book a faculty might use and whatever campus, it teaches all the fundamentals for C++, everything from even things they might not cover. It teaches those as well. And so the second most popular I mentioned earlier is Python. Python's the second most popular. But interface is really, really fun, easy to use. If you already have Google or Facebook, what most people do, you can just sign right to that. Boom. So that's the modules. That's how it looks. That's how it looks on the phone too. And so you have all these different, all the way down to certificates. So when you're finished with your certificate of completion. Yeah. Yeah, that's one I check that one out. Yeah, you like it. I've literally not heard one complaint from students that I've had them use this. Not one. It's always helped students out. Yeah. And I actually took the Python one beginning of the semester when I started getting back into machine learning and AI because it uses Python. So I took the entire thing again. So yeah, it's really good. I liked it. And they keep updating it too. There's a couple languages they still don't have in there, but for the most part, they have most of them in. Yeah. Like it'd be nice if they, like I just got through teaching iOS and or Android. Android has a new language called Kotlin. That'd be cool to have that one in there. Do I know? What is it? Oh, well, Cisco has their own modules you can get from there, but I don't know how good they are.
They're like $600.
They're pretty expensive. There's no free version, I'm guessing, for anything.
Well, at least there wasn't when I looked into it. I used to live in Santa Clara, California, and I had a band where 3 out of the 4 guys were all Cisco engineers.
Yeah.
So they were trying to get me to learn it because they're like, man, if you get Cisco certified, you just go work there. You don't need a degree or anything.
Right.
Like, okay. So they showed me where it was at and like how to get a hold of it. And I was like, man, it's like $650.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I know boot camps used to be. I mean, that's why it's so good. I think it's beneficial to take it here for students because I think boot camps used to be for Cisco back when I first took mine was $8 to $10 grand to get to take the boot camp and the certification, about $10 grand. Yeah, it's crazy. But that was in boom days. I mean, Cisco's still very busy, but this is way back, when they were really just peaking, and they're getting way up there.
This was like 2001, actually.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, they're everywhere now, but yeah, it's expensive. Cisco's expensive, that's for sure.
It doesn't seem like much now, but when I was a 19-year-old.
Oh yeah, it's $600. Yeah.
I like the rent there. We had
you either eat or you get your Cisco certification.
Yeah,
exactly.
We got a 3-bedroom townhouse and it was almost $2,300.
Wow. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah.